Welcome, welcome everyone to the ChessWhiz Arcade. This is so fun. This is so fun. I'm so excited. Starting something new. Today's May 9th, 2015. This is episode 1, season 1 of a new series. We're going to be doing some game programming today, not chess. We're going to make an arcade game, or we're going to start making an arcade game. It's going to take more than one episode, I'm sure, to make. Let me just pick my ear here. Okay, there we go. If you're watching on YouTube, by the way, there's this really good feature on YouTube. It's in the lower right, which is over there. No, it's over there. It's in the lower right. There's a button. It's like settings. You click on that, it pops up. There's a menu, and it says playback speed. I recommend turning the playback speed up because programming is not nearly as fun or exciting as chess. It's going to be less exciting, probably. I mean, chess is so fast-paced. Programming is not that fast-paced. So if you put the playback speed like 1.25 or even 1.5, it's true that I'm going to be talking faster than ever. However, the programming will happen faster than ever, which is nice because programming is a little bit slow. We're going to be doing JavaScript programming today, which is internet programming for the web. The game is going to be playable in the browser. So much fun. You'll learn more as we get started. This is not focused toward people who don't know anything about programming, in a sense that you're not going to learn to program by watching. Probably. But if you know a little bit, you might learn a lot more. And anyway, I'm going to make a game for me to play. And if you enjoy watching it, good. Then we can both benefit from that. So I have done programming in the past, a lot of it. I'm a professional programmer. Don't even worry. And I've also done JavaScript games in the past. So I have another JavaScript game that I'll be stealing some code from. So we'll be doing that as we get started. But let's not waste any time talking. Let's actually get to the desktop of ChessWhiz TV. Guys, you've never seen this before. This is like a window into the window of ChessWhiz TV. Here is my ChessWhiz TV browser tab, which has my countdown in it. And the game is going to be called Uprising, which is why Uprising is here. Episode 1. Roving Knight is what we're going to try to get started, is a Roving Knight right now. Over here, I've got a chess game that I just won, so we'll close that. And here is ChessWhiz TV Arcade. So you can see all of this because this is so fun. I'm going to open I'm going to open Visual Studio, because I program in Visual Studio, and now I can't see anything, and neither can you guys. So let me just see. You can see that, and I can't. And then there's the chat, which I can't see either. But unfortunately, I have another device where I can see the chat. So this is the first time for everything, so it might be a little bit rocky. You gotta give me some forgiveness if everything goes weird. So now we're full screen Visual Studio, which is where I do my programming. ChessWhiz, let's remove this one. ChessWhiz doesn't exist. Okay, ChessWhiz.web. This is the project that has the ChessWhiz.tv website. If you browse to ChessWhiz.tv right now, you will find, and does this not build? It builds. I was working on the YouTube video player thing, so that's why that's up there. So shrink that, check in. I am using Team Foundation Server for my source control, which basically means if I write something and then power goes out and I lose everything I've done, nope, it's saved in the internet. So we're going to say added arcade preview page YouTube API. That's my latest check-in. So I'm checking that in, so I've got a fresh start. Okay, so we're going to try running this with Control F5, and it can't run because I've got the service project selected. Here we go. We're running that now, and now it's running, which means nothing. So can I change this thing? By the way, is there an option here to spread out these little icons? Combine. Never combine, never combine. Okay, so now, ooh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Can you guys see everything now? If some of this is hidden behind, so let's see if I can move that. All right, template, we don't need that. JS, don't need that. Projects, probably need that. Okay, so ChessWhiz is the main project, and then template is where I'm going to steal some code from. So let's get started. So what I'm going to do basically, let's just go back to Big ChessWhiz and tell you, I'm going to do my own programming thing here. And if you have questions, say them in the chat, and I'm going to watch the chat as I program, so I can answer the questions. So if you have questions about what I'm doing, I will try to answer them live. If you're watching on YouTube, and most of you are, because there aren't as many live viewers as there are YouTube viewers, you can ask questions below the video, and I will try to answer them because I'm such a nice guy. And if I don't answer them, just assume that I'm mean, because you're probably right. So let's get started. I can't see myself. Does that work? No. There we go. That did work. I can't see myself, so this is a little creepy. I'll have to get used to that. So right now we want to create the page where, okay, I already have a website. I need to go look at that website. Right here on localhost. This is running on my computer. I've just run this project from Visual Studio, and here it is. Here's the ChessWhiz.tv website. So we go to Arcade. Oh yeah, and this is not Perfect. Let's make it a little wider. There we go. So this was called Land Grab. We're going to rename it to Uprising. So that page is Arcade Index. And where does it say land grab? Land, it says it right there. We're gonna change that to Uprising. Uprising. Okay, so now I've saved that, I refresh, and look at that, it's reloading, and I'm scratching my hair. Uprising. So this is the game. You've conquered the 4 land at 64 squares, but the gathering peasants threaten an uprising. Destroy the troublemakers before they become king and usurp your dominion. So you're going to move a knight around the chessboard with keyboard or mouse, and then drop explosives on the people just for fun, or you can just capture them. It's under construction. You can watch the code, which does nothing right now, or play it, which does nothing. So let's get started. This is so exciting for me because I've been thinking about doing this for so many minutes, and now I'm actually going to do it. So let's add a new view in here, view, and we'll call it Uprising, because that's the name of the game, and it's not a partial view, and it's using the layout, I guess. Okay, so now we'll go to our controller and we'll return that view. This is going to make the page load up, the new page. So let's build that and run it and see if it looks any different. Arcade/Uprising. There it is, guys. It's so beautiful. This is the new game. Are you ready? Let's play. You can't play much yet, but this is a great start. There's actually a page. So what do we do with that page now? We're done with the controller for now because that's the server side. We're on the client side now, which is inside the browser. This is the title. And it's going to be ChessWhiz Arcade Uprising. And we're taking out that. So I say that. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It took that out and it renamed it to ChessWhiz Arcade Uprising. See, I'm really programming. Now I want to put a canvas on the screen, which is where the gameplay is going to take place. This is HTML, so I'll just do a canvas object. And boom, we've got a canvas. Can I do this? I think I can do a canvas like this. We'll give it an ID. BG canvas. This is the background. Actually, this is going to be the chessboard, so we'll call it the board canvas. And we'll give it a width of 8 squares, maybe 8 squares by 8 squares, I'm thinking. So let's get the calculator. 64, I'm thinking 64 pixels per square. So 64 times 8 is 512. So that's going to be 512. And height equals 512. I don't think I have to put px there for pixels. Now let's see how that looks. There is a canvas there. You can't see it because there's nothing on it. But if we look at the developer tools, I pushed F12 for that, by the way. There it is. See it? Canvas, hash, board canvas, 512 by 512. And there it is, sitting right there. And it's beautiful and invisible. Let's center it. How do we do that? Well, we could use some CSS. We should probably use CSS. Class equals playground. I'm calling all my canvases playground so that I can bring up my CSS page over here. There's so now I'm going to move this over to the right. Now I've got 2 things. How's it going, guys? Yeah, my website does look 2010. I'm looking at the chat now. It's going pretty well. Should I? Oh, I'm sure the text is too small, isn't it? The text is probably too small. Let me know in the chat if the text is so small that you can't see. Okay, so we're going to put a region in here. Can you do a region? You probably can't. Not in CSS. Playground. This is CSS. It kind of positions it properly. So we're going to say margin 0 auto. That's going to move the canvas to the middle of the screen. Watch. Where is it now? It's not in the middle. Why not? It would be nice if it weren't invisible, wouldn't it? Margin 0px auto. It's not over there. It should auto. It's because its container isn't very big, isn't it? No, its container is huge. It's 1170 pixels. I'm already stuck and I can't center my. Well, we're gonna live with the canvas on the left because we can't figure out how to move it. So now we're going to add some code. We don't have any code yet. So here's my scripts folder. It has a bunch of fancy scripts. Let's add a folder to my folder. I heard you like folders, so I put a folder in your folder and I called it Arcade because this is the ChessWhiz Arcade. And then I'm going to put a folder in that folder, which is now really epic. And we'll call it common. This is going to contain the code that's shared between arcade games. And right now there's 0 arcade games. When there's 2, you're going to be appreciating that that's there. And then we'll add another folder called Uprising because this is this is going to hold the code that's specific to Uprising. So first, let's add a JavaScript file to the common place, and we will call it, I think one of the things we're going to need is board. Of course, this is managing the chessboard. So I have the template here. This is like another project I made. And I'm just going to steal like how you do things. You make a function, okay? And it's going to be called board. And it has nothing in it. And that's great. And then, okay, so this does nothing. Pretty cool, huh? This is exciting. Your canvas has some elements which shouldn't be there in it. I don't agree. The board, I'm gonna make a function called draw. Function, nope. I'm gonna add it outside because this is the way JavaScript works. I'm gonna go prototype, that was a typo, .draw. And this is gonna add a function called draw to the object called board, and then I will, CTX is the canvas. I'm just calling it CTX because that's really cool to call it CTX. Now, before I write anything there, I'm going to add some code. Script type equals text/JavaScript. This is JavaScript. And then source, src, right, equals, and that's going to go in script / oh, this is so cool because it put the tilde because it's .NET /arcade/common/board.js. Okay, so this makes the web page load that JavaScript file. Now I'm going to do another script tag, which has type also. There must be a shortcut for this, text JavaScript. And this is going to have real JavaScript in it, and it's going to say when the program starts running, which is now, I'm using jQuery for that, it's going to do something. What's the program going to do when it starts? It's going to make a new board. This is so hard. The hardest part's at the beginning. Can people read this? I can read it, so it looks like I don't have to make everything smaller. That's good. Internet Explorer, you're on my screen. Unpin you. There we go. That's better. Let me look at my template and see how I make things. And here's my index. And look at that. I've got some scripts. That's good. And then I've got some scripts. That's good. Okay, so this is my other program. And how do I actually start? I make a new board, right? I'm trying to think about how I should architect this. If I should have the board inside, I'll just go make a new board and then call board.draw. And I have to pass in the context, guys. Okay, so here comes the context, and it's going to be, I'm going to find jQuery, help me find that board. There. And it's going to call draw. So now inside here, this should be hit. So now let's go see if it works. You need to sleep. Okay. Thanks for watching. I'm programming already. This is so fun. So now if I go in sources, I can find the code I wrote. Content, arcade, uprising, scripts. Here it is. Scripts, common, board.js. So I put a breakpoint here and I see if it hits. And it does. Okay, so I'm paused in the debugger and I just hit that line of code. So what just happened is I'm running this program in my browser here in Chrome, and it is hitting the breakpoint, which means the execution is stopping right here where I wrote this line of code, x = 1. And I just wrote that so I have somewhere to break. Now let's see what CTX is. How do you do this? CTX. And it found it. Look at that. See, there it is, and it has the size of width of 512. Look at that. I pressed escape to bring up this excellent context thing, and I press escape again to get rid of it. So CTX exists. So now I want to draw something on there. So I will do that. F8 to continue, right? Okay. So let's go back to the programming, and we'll say draw. Now I forget how to draw on canvases, but no worries. I have a thing that draws in my template project. Find my draw. Draw. Clear rect. Where's draw rect? You know what? I should put I should pass it into the constructor like this. And then you don't have to pass this in. Equals 0. Can you just do that? I don't know. So what I'm doing now is instead of passing in the canvas to the draw function, I'm passing it into the constructor of the board. And I think this will work. And I can test it by using debugger again. I hit that line again, and ctx, this.ctx equals, I don't know, something's wrong with my mouse overs. Oh, ctx is not defined. So I'm going to look at my template because I have lots of things constructed in my template. Constructors work like this. You pass in something, var that equals this. I should do that line. This is JavaScript at its finest right here. That equals this. Don't even ask me what that means. And then this dot blah 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 equals that dot blah blah blah. So that's how you do it. Yep. CTX. I want to get the context actually. Oh, that's what CTX is for, the context. So get context 2D. This is something that you just have to put in there for canvases. If you want to draw on canvases, you need to call get context. Not 2D. Canvas. So I'm going to call this the canvas because it's not the context. CTX is the context. OK. So Rx equals 1. That's just so I can set the breakpoint. So now is this going to work? Let's put the breakpoint down there. And it didn't find get context because it doesn't know what canvas is. Let's put the breakpoint there and try again. It hit that, and canvas is a function. And the first element, look at that. I don't even get to program yet. Canvas sub-0. That's the real canvas. It's an array of canvases. I don't even know how that happened. Let's go look at my page again. Let's pass in the 0th one. OK, so it's passing in a jQuery object. And then over here, I'm getting the actual HTML object out of the jQuery object. Does that make sense? No. That's OK. It's going to work now. So we don't have to worry. Chat is so inactive. That's OK, because nobody knows how to program. So, of course, it's confusing. OK, so now does CTX exist? This.ctx? Let's try it. Yes, I got my canvas context. So now I can call draw on it, and I can draw things. Are you guys ready for drawing? I am so excited to draw. Draw. There's clear rect. I want to find draw rect. There is no draw rect here. Search for draw rect in the entire solution. There's no matching. Oh, yeah? Well, how about we don't match case? Nope, that's not how it works, huh? Can't draw rect. Where's my draw rect? Draw, draw, draw. Draw text. Let's find draw text, because I know what draw text does. It draws rect. Look at all those draw texts. And there is the draw text function. It calls clear rect, and then it calls fill text. That's dumb. I'm going to have to look this up on the internet. Canvas draw rect. It does exist. So HTML canvas rect. I know the W3 Schools is not the best source, but it's got answers. So here's what you do. You call get element by ID canvas. I already have my context. I already have my canvas. I already have my context. I just call dot rect. Then I have to call dot stroke. Use stroke or fill to draw the rectangle. OK, I'm going to do that. I wish I could breakdance like that guy. Then I wouldn't even need to play chess to get viewers. I would just breakdance on the internet. Back to this thing. OK, so I'm about to draw some things. ctx.draw rect. And now what do I pass in? xy. I'm going to add a new JavaScript file that's going to have some globals in it, like the size of the board. And this is actually going to go in Uprising. And this is going to say square size is 64. There, that's all I need to know. Now I'm going to include that right here. Uprising / globals. Great. Now I know what square size is. It's 64. So now I can actually draw my draw rect. How do you do that? You call x, y, width, and height. So we're going to go from 0 to 0. And now the width is going to be square size times 8. Board size, which is going to be 8 because chessboards are always 8. But I don't like magic numbers, so I'm going to put that in here also. New line. Board size is 8. So that's the width and that's the height. And now I need to do something else, right? Let's try it. Let's see what happens. I think that I need to call fill. See what happens. I'm sure this won't work. But that's the way programming works. There we are. And I'm going to go one line here, and it says there's an error. CTX is not defined. Yes, it is. Oh, it's this.ctx. No problem. I'll use my Alt down arrow, by the way, guys. Alt, and then you draw a square, and then you can type in that square. So you see what I did there? Alt selected this text and this dot. I typed in both lines at the same time like a boss. Now I'm going to try it again. Okay. So now there's a different error. DrawRect is not a function. See, well, look, W3 Schools is such a liar. Oh, it's called rect. Oh, I was just wrecked by this rect. Let's try again. Is there a better DrawRect here? Draw rectangle. Fill rect is way better. I'm going to use that. I can't believe I was suckered into draw rect when fill rect is. Look at that. I don't even have to call fill. I just call fill rect, and it's totally filled. I wonder what color it uses. That's a mystery. I wonder if I'm on Chess already. I probably shouldn't be. Yeah, I'm not. Good. I shouldn't be because I'm not streaming chess. Not even close. Okay, so fill rect, and now that's actually going to be this. Don't need that. And we don't know what color it's going to be, but I bet it's not going to be transparent, and that's the important part. Make it happen. Yes! We just got a black square on the screen. Is this exciting? I'm super excited that I have a black square on the screen. This is already a fun video game, and all we have is a black square. And it looks tall, doesn't it, guys? It's supposed to be a square, but it really looks rectangular. So now we want to choose a specific color for that. And of course I want to make the chessboard look like me, look like my chessboard. So for that, I'm going to create a game. Then I'm going to start an awesome program that comes with Windows called Snipping Tool. That's not what I want. It's Snipping Tool. Did I type shipping tool? That's my problem. Snipping Tool allows you to capture things. So I'm going to capture this. And then I'm going to say, copy that. Now I'm going to start another awesome program called Paint.net, which is Paint, except it does Photoshop-y things. Paste that in there. Look at that. Now I use my color picker and pick the, wait a minute, is that multiple colors? It is. So let's pick the perfect color, which is going to be that. Now let's find out more about that color. Here's the red, green, blue values. Cool. So I'm going to draw that color actually. How do I do that? Let's go fill rect color. Fill rect, totally rect. Fill style, is that how? This is so hard. Oh, Stack Overflow can tell me the answer. Canvas. Fill style. I think I need to use fill style to change the color. So excited to do that. Oh, look at that. Fill style equals and then a color with hex. I'm going to steal this code right here. Okay, so now my code, my hex code is this right here. Save that. Run my new game. And it fails. CTX is not defined. Man, I'm so bad at this.ctx. There we go. Okay, let's try again. And run it. And boom. Yes, guys, is this not beautiful? Is this not beautiful? Yes, it's not. Look at that. Ugly poop colored square. Nice. Now we need to do the light colored squares. So let's get a color for that. It's going to be this color. That looks good. And it's this. It's this right here. So now we'll go there, and then we'll copy this and put it here, and then we'll copy this and put it here. Now we've got the other color. Now we should get some magic numbers. These should not be this dot dark square color equals this. That's not a semicolon. The light square color is this, and now we can say fill style equals dark square color, and this fill style equals light square color. So now we don't have magic numbers in the code. This is important because I am a stickler. Now the code's really beautiful. So it's gonna do the dark square, and it's gonna draw a rectangle over the whole chessboard. Then it's gonna go light, and now it needs to draw light squares in fancy places. Are you ready? I need a for loop for this. Board size. Oh, I should make this X and Y, shouldn't I? Now I'll make it I and J. Okay, so now we go J. That's not a J. J over here. I'm going to assume that the chessboard is the same width as it is height. That's not right. What a terrible assumption. Board size X. And board size Y. Great. So now they're both 8, of course. So now we can use these appropriately. This is the width, so it's going to be X, and this is the height, so it's going to be Y. We're going to loop through the Y first, because I'm awesome, and then the X, and then we're going to draw rect. Let's put comments here. Draw dark squares, 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 and then and then draw light squares. Looking good? Goodbye, people who don't care about boring programming. I don't care about you not caring about boring programming, because this is epically boring. It's going to stay boring too, till the cool game emerges. I'm drawing some light squares. It's kind of like the boring part of the game. Drawing the squares. So now we need to get the location. X is going to be, instead of 0, it's going to be board square size. It's going to be square size. Oh man, I did board size. It should be square size. Square size is 64. I've got myself confused with square size and board size. Square size times I. Now this is always going to be, the width and height is always going to be square size, which is 64. So there's the width and height. Because I'm drawing each square individually. The position, this is going to draw every square white, which is okay. We'll just pretend they're all white. The position is going to be square size times I and square size times J. So I anticipate this will draw the whole board white. Let's see if it does. Oh, I forgot this dot because I'm not a JavaScript programmer. Let's try again. Look at that. The whole board got white. So now I want to do every other. How do I do that? I say if. If I plus j mod 2. And then do that. So I think this will work. I'm going to add the x coordinate, which is, let's say 0, and then the y coordinate, which let's say is 0. And that adds up to 0. So then we'll say, if you divide that by 2, is the remainder 0? And that'll be every other. So does that work? Guys, that totally worked for part of it. That totally kind of worked. That's not an entire chessboard. Also, white should be on right. So it's equal to 1. No, it's equal to 0. It's equal to 9. It won't be equal to 9. That's one thing I know. Okay, that's cool. Why didn't it go across the whole board? J, 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 J. Why didn't it just do the left side? Board size Y, board size X. Let's get some debug mode in here. See why. Refresh again. Here I is, why can't I mouse over this thing and see what it is? Do I really need to ask it? What's I? I is 0. Okay, and now I can't see. Okay, and that's true, so it draws that one. And then it draws that one. I think it's a problem with my modulus. Oh. And it draws the fourth one, and then I becomes 1. Great. And it's never true anymore. Guys, it's not drawing. I is 1. And J is 5. Am I missing something? Oh, don't do that to it. Let's see if this is true or not. It's false. I plus J is 6. 6 mod 2 is equal to 0 should be true. And that is equal to 2. Oh, I know what the problem is. It's operator precedence, or in this case, operator idiocy. I plus j needs to happen first before you run the modulus. So otherwise, it'll run the mod first and be like, j mod 2 plus I is not 0 ever. Now let's try it again. Beautiful! Look how fast I programmed that chessboard. So fast. And this is kind of ugly if you compare it to the beautiful Lichess chessboard. You can definitely see that's something wrong. I mean, mine is a solid color and his is not a solid color. His being this guy's chessboard. His is beautiful. Let's actually play this against myself, so I can see the board in total. Oh, I'm playing chess 2 eyes at once. This is so complicated. So the board's actually really beautiful, and I think what he did was use an image in each location. No, it's the whole board. The whole board's a different image. So it turns out I wasted my time doing this, because what I'm going to do is steal that image, actually, and just blit that thing onto the screen. But in the meantime, I got a chessboard. That was awesome. What should happen next? Next, the whole board is a PNG. That's true. Beats by death. So I just wasted my time, but that was kind of fun to do. Draw a chessboard anyway. What I'm going to do later is change that into this beautiful chessboard by taking the PNG and just drawing it. So I'll just put the PNG on top. Hey, I can do that right now. Yes, it should be really fast, so I'll just do that. I'll go here, and I'll go grab my developer tools here, and I'll say, oh, is this, oh, each one is different. Each one is different. I'm digging into this guy. Background image, look at that. Look at that image right there. Oh, that's interesting. Let me just go to this image and be like, oh, I'm browsing to you. Oh, I can't quite get to you because you have a relative URL. Let's open link in new tab. Okay, beautiful image right there. Let's see if I can have that, please. Save image as, not in downloads, but instead in documents, Visual Studio, projects, ChessWhiz, ChessWhiz.web, content, images. Let's put Arcade in its own folder here. So Arcade. Let's just put it right here. Okay. Wood2.jpg. Let's call it board.jpg. Okay, I just stole that thing. That was fun. Now I have that board. So my board is ugly, but we're going to get that beautiful one coming right up. Content, show all files. Arcade, include in project. And there's the board. It's in my project now. See it? Beautiful board. So I'm going to steal that and blit it on. How do you blit images? For that, I need a manager, an asset manager, to manage my assets. So let's go common add JavaScript file, asset manager. I know I need that because I used one in my other program. So let's go to this asset manager. I'm going to just steal this thing letter for letter. That's my asset manager right there. What it does is it downloads the assets. You say get asset, you pass it a path, then it caches it, then it queues the downloads, and then you ask it, are you done? And it says done. Download all with a callback. So that's a nice asset manager right there, and we're just going to use it. Let's load it first. It's in common because everybody wants an asset manager. I am making a game, JChosen, and it's going to be an epic game. You want to know what it is? It is this. Over here. Host. People who are just tuning in are wondering what in the world I'm making. Arcade. Arcade. I'm making this game. It's called Uprising, and you move your knight around and capture things, and you'll use bombs. So that's what's keeping me motivated. Even though this is boring right now, when the bombs show up, it's going to be good. It's going to be great. So let's put that over there, and let's keep that next to it. And then this is online, so we don't need that. And here is my board. Now I don't need DrawRect. Actually, what I need now is draw image, which I'm sure is in my template. I draw images everywhere. In world, draw. See, this is what I do. I can have a thing that just draws the board once, because I never need to draw the board again. I'm getting lost. Yes, I'm going to make it like Atomic with sound effects. It's going to be awesome, but it's taking me a long time. I can hardly even get that thing started. Board.js. Here's the draw function. The first thing it's going to do is say, if the asset manager is not done, return. So that means I need an asset manager. I'll put that in common globals. There's two kinds of globals, guys. So this is going to be confusing. There's two things called globals. Our asset manager equals new asset manager. Nice try. So now I'm getting myself really confused with everything. However, first I'm going to load the common globals. Then I'm going to load the special globals, the Uprising globals. Then I'm going to load the asset manager. And the asset, no, I have to load the asset manager first, so that then I can pull it from this globals file, which says I've got an asset manager right there. And it's called asset manager. So close that, close that. Here we are at the board. It says if it's not done, return. So I need to have some code that actually loads the image. So let's steal that from my template also. Best way to find that would be to go to the asset manager itself and say, OK, so queue download. Let's just search the whole solution for that. Oh, it's in globals also. Oh, I have a globals over here. And it's exactly like that. And I'm actually going to steal a bunch of these globals. Look, I even have DrawText. I've got local storage. I've got punchlines and scores. Well, I'll take that, this part right here. Where's my common globals? So board image is the only image I need. Then I'm going to queue download, and it's not in a sprites folder. Hey, I should call it sprites. Oh well, I'm not calling it sprites. And I'm going to queue one download, and it's going to be in slash content slash arcade slash board.jpg. OK, now I'm going to call download all, and apparently you have to do this again. It's kind of weird that you have to queue it and then you have to download it, but I'm just going to do what I did in the other program. Sprites image, nope, it's going to be board image equals get asset. Now I've got an audio manager. I'm going to have to comment that out because I don't have an audio manager. That part's going to go boom dun, 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 when it's done. Request animation frame. What I should put is the HTML file over here. And then I always have it over there. And this part is like manages the timer. So, and 60 frames a second is what it's doing. So we're actually just going to leave that there as well. We'll use it later. So that'll make sure the game doesn't run too fast. It runs exactly the right speed. So now that we have that, let's see, is that everything? I've got the queue download. So now I can just say, how do I pull those images out? Let's go back to world. Just read. Oh yeah, so you just pull it out, tiles image. So look at this. Now I can just, and how do you draw that thing? Draw image. I'm going to copy this now. I'm just copying my stuff, right? So I don't need a loop, although that was cool. And I don't need to draw that stuff, and I don't need these colors because I'm just going to draw the image. And it's going to be this dot ctx, because that's the context, dot draw image. And the image is going to be board image. And then the location is going to be 0. This is so much easier. 0. All that time drawing that grid of squares was not needed. And then this is going to be the entire size of the, this is like how big it is. Why are there so many parameters, guys? I better look up draw image canvas. What are the, oh, of course W3 Schools is going to tell me what it is. What are the parameters here? Tell me the parameters. Clipping corners. I don't want to clip. I want the whole thing. So image X and Y. Oh, that's all I need? Great. 0, 0. I don't want to pass the stuff that says the whole thing because it's automatically going to do the whole thing. Let's see if this works. Save all. Chessboard commence. And of course, there's nothing there. Of course, I missed something. What do you think I missed, guys? I missed something. Programming is hard because you miss things. I'm going to come down here in my asset manager and see if download all is ever run. It is. Okay, let's see if is done is ever run. Oh, I know what the problem is, guys. This is a difficult part. I'm going to bring this up so I can see myself. This is a difficult part of programming. It's like finding what's wrong when it doesn't tell you what's wrong. And What's wrong right now is that it starts to download it, and then immediately it says, I want to draw it. And then it says, okay, am I done downloading it? No. See this part right here? It says, am I done downloading it? If I'm not, then just give up. And so it gives up. And then when it's finally done downloading that picture, it does nothing ever. So I need something that kicks off when it's done downloading. I had this elaborate, this is my other project again, this elaborate system where it starts world.start. Let's find start in here. Yeah, look at this. Ensure that images have been loaded. If not, retry soon. And this is going to be the start thing. I'm getting a little bit lost here. Back to my main page. Instead of calling draw, I think I need a world now. I don't think I can get much further without a world. How about this? ChessWhiz onload draw. Yeah, that's a good idea. The challenge is that the board image is finished loading later. So what this code does is every 50 milliseconds it says, am I done loading yet? Am I done loading yet? And then pretty soon, like after the first 50 milliseconds, it is. And then it draws. But this is kind of complex. Why did I make this so complicated? This is where you click YouTube settings and you click playback speed 2x. Save you guys some time. Or just skip ahead. Skip ahead right now because I'm confused. That equals this. That dot start. Begin loop. I think I'm going to create my world right now. So Uprising. Add a new script file, and this is going to be world.js. I call world the file that contains everything that is everything. Function, I think world, like this. And it's going to have a draw function. This is how you do it in JavaScript. Oh, it's going to have a loop. Not new. What kind of a doofus am I? And a semicolon here. So there's going to be two things that the world does, update and draw. It's going to call update and it's going to call draw. I'm stealing from my template again. But it needs something else called start. So I'm just going to steal this whole thing and then delete the parts I don't need. If the asset manager is not done, then call start again with this begin loop, which I'm just going to ignore that part. Just going to, every 15 seconds, return, return, return. So now I'm just going to call world.start. So I need a world. So I'll come over here and say var world equals new world. Currently there's no parameters, and then I'm just going to, don't need this part because I just put it over there. World.start. Okay. I think that's going to call in here, and then that's going to say, am I done yet? Nope, try in 50 milliseconds. Am I done yet? Nope, done yet? Nope, done yet? Nope, done yet? Yes! And then begin loop, which I might as well just leave here because I'll probably need it. And I'll just pass in true. Start true, which means yes, begin the loop. What do I press now? Server Explorer, don't need that. Don't need my Team Explorer. Okay, so then it's going to say out of loop that dot loop loop loop. Whoa, you're so confusing. I don't even know what this stuff does because it's been a while. But maybe I should leave some of it. This is the part. I think I'm going to move this stuff in. This board canvas. I'm going to move it into the world. Okay, so now I've got the board canvas. And now I'm going to say this dot board equals board. World controls everything, guys. World is like the world's biggest global. So when you're wondering what world is for, everything that would go in uprising.cshtml, which is the web page, is going to go in world now, because that way it's inside of world, so it's not bleeding out into the global namespace, which means it's contained inside an object. So world contains everything. So I'll create a new world, and then I don't need to create a new board. And I can call draw whenever I want, and I can start it. So see what this is going to do. I'm going to load up the page. I'm going to create a new world. And I'm going to start it. Totally simple. And then the world is going to say, okay, I got my board canvas, and I've created a new board called, and I'm passing in board canvas. So now I can say this.board, and I get to the board from the world. Now I've got a start function, got an update function, and a draw function. So in draw, I'm going to, no. What is this init complete thing? That's the next question. Let's go find init complete. Init complete is a function. Apparently, it's never called anywhere, so it doesn't exist, so I'll delete it. I wonder what init complete did. It's not a function, so it's gone now. Draw welcome. Don't need that. I'm actually going to call draw. I'm going to say, whoa, check this out. This.board.draw. This is going to draw. This is going to work, guys. Here's how it's going to go. I'm just going to explain it because it's going to work on the first try. Going to load up, make a new world, start the thing with true. It's going to come into start. It's going to say, am I done downloading? No. Am I done downloading? No. Am I done downloading? No. Meanwhile, it has already started downloading because, back over here, because it loaded the asset manager, and then what the asset manager did was it didn't do anything. And then it loaded the globals, which created an asset manager and started downloading the board picture. So that's going to automatically kick off the download. So then it's going to come in here and say, when it's done, it's going to come down here and say, oh, I'm true, I'm going, and I'm looping, and I'm looping. This part is not correct. Let's just not do that. It's going to loop super fast as it can. It's going to heat up my CPU. Then this board.draw. It's going to draw the board. It's going to draw. It's going to work. Save all. Build. Go. Board commence. It didn't draw. No. That's how web programming goes. Let's find world.js. Where's world.js? It didn't load world. Oh, okay. So maybe it's because I didn't load world.js. Let's add that here at the bottom. It's in Uprising. World.js. So what I'm doing right now, guys, for you guys watching live, is I'm making a cool video game on a chessboard. That.loop's not a function. Great. I hit a bug. That's what I wanted to hear. I need this to be called loop, so it's actually a function. Making a cool video game, and I'm streaming it, and look at that. It totally worked. Now the chessboard is a little small. I'm not sure why. Like it's tiny. Oh, that's because the image is that small, isn't it? Let's look at the image. Okay, so the image is big. The problem is it's not 512. It's double that. Should I just make the canvas double that for high-res computers? Let's do that. Let's crank everything up because Lichess is that cool, so it should be that cool also. So that means that square size instead of 64 pixels needs to be 128 pixels because Lichess is. So that alone should fix everything. No, it won't. It won't. I also need to expand my canvas to be huge. Double 512, which is 1024. Now the board is twice as big. That was cool. I'm going to probably need to scroll just to see the thing. Yep, it worked. It worked. Look at that beautiful chessboard. A little too beautiful, if you ask me. So let's put that giant thing in a container. And that's going to make it smaller. And then we'll go bring up my CSS page here to give it a certain height. 100%. Is that legal? No, it's not, because it's going to be... I need to use JavaScript to resize this thing. Well, I'm actually going to do that right now, because I have the code. It won't take me long. I have the code over here that actually resizes. See this resize playground thing? I'm going to steal that. I'm going to Put it right at the top. Here's what it's going to do. It resizes the playground by bam, 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 bam. And then window.onResize equals resize playground. And then that makes it resize itself when I resize the window, the browser window. And then I'm going to call resize playground. Ah, press the wrong key. Okay. Now I don't know what this does. It looks like it makes it 600 by 960, which is not good. It should be 1024 by 1024. So let's just change these numbers here. I don't know if this is going to work, but it might. It would be great if it did, you know? It would be so cool if it did. And it's going to get elements by class name playground. So I need to make this class equals playground so that it finds it. Oh, look, it's already over there. Cool. Let's take it out. It's going to loop through all the playgrounds, give it the new height, center it. So I need to get the CSS from this site, actually. This is my other project again. I probably should steal all of this as well, with one catch. Oh, because I don't need OPX auto anymore. The catch is, this obviously need to be 1024 pixels because this is bigger than any other game. Display block position absolute, left 50%, 50%, margin top, and this is going to be half, I believe. So that's 512. Padding 0. I don't need a border. Yeah, let's put a border. No, let's not put a border. Okay, see how that works. Works so good. And unfortunately, it's below the footer. See how it's really choppy? That's because it's running my code every time you resize the browser window. It runs my code to resize the chessboard. Now, the other weird thing is that the chessboard stays tiny always. So I think the reason for that is that it's looking for the body element. Not sure, actually. Let's hide the footer. Let's hide the footer on this page. Look at that. Look, it's ignoring everything. It's going on top of everything. That's kind of a problem. It kind of floats above everything. I would like to keep my navigation bar. But I don't really need my footer. So this CSS won't work. Position absolute, that's why it's doing that. That's why it's doing that. And over here, it's looking for the size of the body. Oh, I see what it's doing, guys. Let me actually explain this. It says, okay, your body is this big, this tall, right here, because here's the top of it, and here is the bottom of it, right here, because this is the bottom of the footer. This is the footer right here. Okay, I just circled the footer. And so it's that tall. So it says, okay, I need to make the chessboard that tall, and look at that. It matches. This shape is the same as this shape. It's the same size. That's why. So let's see what this website did to fix it. After the canvases, oh, it has a canvas container too. Hey, maybe it does something on the canvas container. Nope, it doesn't. It's got a palette canvas, that's different. Editor coordinates, that's different. Body. This is suspicious. Background color, font size, font family, margin, padding, and color. None of those do anything fancy. Oh, here it is. HTML body height 100%. That's what we're going to need. So we're going to put that just on this page. So let's put that in the CSS, which can load at the top. How do you put inline CSS? CSS, right? Script, no style. Good enough. Type equals text CSS. There we go. Put some CSS in there. So I think that's actually going to make the thing be way taller. How tall? Super tall. It works great now. It takes up the whole screen. And as I resize, it resizes correctly. Okay, this is working really well, guys. The next problem is that it's covering everything, which I can fix by hiding the header and footer, which I can fix by not having the header or footer. So actually what I could do is say layout role. Right? Now it doesn't have a header or footer. It has nothing. Dollars not defined. Okay, so my layout includes some important things. What does my layout include? So this is MVC here. This HTML page wraps around the other one. So it didn't include jQuery because I got rid of the whole layout. It didn't include Modernizer or any of my other CSS. I think I'd like to keep that, actually, because I can't put any beautiful stuff on this page if I take out the layout. What we're actually going to do is deal with this another time, because I want to program cooler stuff. This is a canvas element, and it's kind of scary that the header is there. Let's make the header go away. Div class equals navbar. Let me see a little bit more here. We've got a navbar. We've got the container. That's it. So all we need to do is hide the navbar. Oh, the container contains some stuff, doesn't it? Let's hide the navbar and the body. Should we hide everything? Watch this. Navbar. I can't spell navbar. It's a style. Important. Actually, it doesn't need to be important. Boom, it's gone. Okay, this is already way better. So now let's hide the footer, which is in here. It's called footer. I don't need a dot because it's not a class. It's actually the element type is footer. So that is hiding the header and footer. Now I still have this line here. Man, you make this so hard. Look at that line right there, HR. And that is because class equals body content. What if we hide body content? Well, then we're going to be hiding. Yeah, the HR. Why don't I put HR in the footer, right? Render body HR footer. What if I just put this in here? This is my style, so. Now it's in the footer, so it becomes invisible. It's gone. But let's check another page, see how it looks here. Here's the ChessWhiz Arcade, and look why it's no good. It's because the footer's now this wide. Problem. Annoying. I have to put it out in order to make it span that thing, but I don't really like the line there. Stupid line. Stupid line. Very stupid. Well, we're going to leave the line there, actually, because it's not annoying me badly enough. Now we're going to program a game. This is a canvas, and it has a board, and there's a chessboard on it. So now it's time to put a chess knight on it. Let's start really coding up the game. Let's check in this code to source control. Added canvas, added boilerplate for Uprising. Really, it changed? Good. Save it. This marks great progress because we've been streaming for 1 hour and we already have a website with a chessboard on it, which is on a canvas. So the next objective is to put a knight on that canvas and allow the player to move the knight around the board using the keyboard or mouse. But we're going to start with getting the knight picture and putting it on. Should be pretty quick because we already have the asset manager. And then after that, we're going to put it in a location, build it like an array of data for the chessboard. I'm getting a little bit exhausted here. So I'm going to take a short break. Let me bring up my counter here. Does this count for 5 minutes? Great. So I'm going to take a 5-minute break here and refill my water cup and kind of take a deep breath. And then we'll be back and we will add the knight to the chessboard. So that'll be pretty fun. And we've got the chat saying collisions based on pieces. I would recommend doing collisions based on squares. That's correct, Jay Chosen. I'm going to do just an 8x8 grid for that. So I will be back in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Enjoy the break.